Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Present with us is the road department with Bear Taylor and others around us. So Bear, do you want to start us off, please? What's going on?
Oh, geez, it's been a fun month or so since I last saw you. The usual, potholes, grading requests, a couple little washout areas we've had to fix. Some complaints on some non-maintained roads that are super low priority to us right now. One request, I mentioned this, I think in an email before, but we did get a resident in that Raider Creek Toll Mountain area wanted us to go in and replace all of the street signs and all the subdivision areas down there. He claims that the county did it a certain amount of years ago, but I have a hard time believing that with it being private roads and Forest Service roads. So I just wanted to bring it to you to make sure you guys didn't know any history of us doing that in the past.
Nope.
I don't remember anything happening up there with us doing signs.
Yeah, we've done a few where we've allowed residents on private roads to buy signs from us that we make for them recently to just save some hassles and headaches. But this is a large amount of signs. We just don't have the time to have Jaylee making probably 50 some odd signs up in there.
Right.
So I just want to be able to make sure when I tell them, hey, you're gonna have to find somebody to make these for you on the same page. So. As far as crew updates, just some of the highlights. Chip seal and Corbin is done. Went pretty smooth. We had Sean Parasols from Ergon Emulsions. He's the big regional sales rep and product specialist. He was up there for 2 to 3 days with us. Just kind of making sure everything was going down right and looking good, so we had the best product possible. I think it went pretty well, so we'll see how she goes from here.
While you're on that one, let's let Deb talk. I'm sure she has some questions about Corbin Road. Deb, can you hear us okay?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Corey, I was just checking about if there was still the plan to come back and do anything with kind of the potholes that are still kind of a challenge. It's really, I mean, just to be clear, I walked the road a couple times. It's really just in front of kind of leading up to any place where we're slowing down to turn in. So like at, Jefferson Heights and at our road, at Tyler Court, or before the road, going up to the Meadowlark subdivision. There's some pretty good potholes still there. And you had mentioned that maybe you were going to come back and fill those. So I just was curious whether that's still the plan or if we're just going to leave it as is and see what it's like in the spring, or what's the deal there.
No, that is still our plan. We're just trying to get caught up on our other 800 some odd miles of road too. So
Okay.
We're in the process of getting geared up for patching again up in the north section, and that road is definitely on the list to be addressed. So.
Okay. Like I said, it's a huge improvement. So don't get me wrong at all. I just was everybody just wanted to know if it was done, or if there were still, other steps to it.
So my understanding, Deb, is we didn't want to break that back open with the grader before we chip sealed it. Break it open and make it smooth. I don't know if I already told you this, but
Yep.
it would make the foundation soft. As much as we compact it with the roller, it's still going to be soft. So we think it would be better to have a few imperfections in the road and chip seal over that, had a nice hard surface, and we can go back and hit the bad spots with the Durapatcher. The Durapatcher is essentially a chip seal machine that we can target potholes and
Just
rust.
some areas. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I right there?
Yep.
Is that right?
Okay. That is the plan.
So
Yeah.
we figured having a nice solid foundation would be much better than having a soft one under that chip seal. As soon as a cement truck or something came up there, we'd have ruts and everything else all over again, and off the side. So
yeah, like I said, I've walked the road a couple times. I mean, it's really just a pretty small number of places, really just right when people are slowing down to turn in to one of the roads or driveways off of Corbin. Other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty good. For us personally, the dust is gone, which was kind of the major challenge for us from a health perspective. So anyway, I think our subdivision, at least I can speak for the 5 people up here, is pretty happy with the result. So I do thank you guys. So that's just since I'm talking, I'll go on. The other challenge that we continue to have is speed on Corbin. So I know we had talked about maybe putting the speed indicator that you guys had down kind of by just past Jefferson Heights, maybe put it kind of right at Tyler Court. I'm starting to work with the sheriff to see if I can get him to maybe write some tickets on Corbin, but it'd be nice to have some data to kind of back up our suspicion that people are going 50, 60 miles an hour. Our neighbor has high school age kids, and not this weekend but the weekend before, they pulled out on Corbin. Somebody was going probably 70 miles an hour and just about hit them.
Wow.
And so we just would like to see if we can't work with the sheriff, and it would be great to have some data. The other suggestion one of the neighbors had was if we could get additional speed limit signs closer to our neighborhood, going in both directions. I don't know if that's anything you would consider or not, but it seems that people forget that it's 35 by the time they get, a mile in on Corbin from either Jefferson City or from Corbin. So I guess that's the other topic that's kind of important for our subdivision, is just trying to get that speed down. And plus, we're concerned if we're going to end up maintaining Corbin, the faster people are driving, the more wear and tear on that road surface. So that's another reason for us to be concerned about people speeding down there.
Is the 35 preferable to you? We've had requests to put it back to 45. I don't know what your.
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to see it stay 35. I mean, the bottom line is Corbin has become more of a residential road, not just a transport between Jefferson City and Corbin or Wicks or the mine or whatever. I mean, we've got 3 subdivision roads coming in, and then another 6 driveways on Corbin. I think that 35 is a much more appropriate speed for that road at this point.
What did you say, Ben?
So it doesn't matter what we post the speed limit at, they're gonna drive.
No.
over it.
That's true too.
Currently, it's an enforcement issue, which limited staffing makes that difficult, but.
Have we popped the stats on that speed sign lately, or got the data from it yet?
I've got stuff for the roads where they're at. They're not, it's not on Corbin.
Oh, okay. We had it on Corbin for a while, didn't we?
Before.
Okay.
Before it was chip
Oh,
sealed.
before the chip
Yeah,
seal?
before it was chip sealed.
And the speed numbers were very low. We had very low speeding issues when it was gravel, so we turned it back to gravel and slow them down again.
No, I mean, I think the other thing is just where the speed sign was, right? Because people are coming out of Jefferson City and it's 25 through there, and it was, positioned just a little bit south of Jefferson Heights. So my inclination is people are not up to full speed, but if you put that coming out of Corbin and Wicks about our subdivision, you're going to get their top speed.
Yeah, we've got quite a few areas in the county dealing with the same speed issues, Deb, and we're trying to get a list
Yeah.
for where we're gonna put the sign and collect data, and then we can give it to the sheriff and say, here's a problem. Or we
Yep.
can say, hey, there's no problem here. It's, people are driving close to what they need to be driving, so.
Yeah. I mean,
We got
that's,
two-
I mean, it'd just be great to have some statistics, I think, kind of right at our subdivision where people seem to be going a max
Yeah,
speed.
you're right in the middle there. I agree. We'll get it back up there here when we get
Okay.
some data from some of the other roads.
It's on our list
Any
to get
any
back.
possibility of putting up additional speed limit signs? Again, just
Not
to
gonna do
remind
you any
people?
Good.
sorry,
won't
Bear, I
do-
missed that.
They won't do you any good. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Sign standards for the state and federal is to not add additional signs in between.
Okay.
Just because they're deemed not effective. It's also just additional cost and maintenance costs that the county would be incurring, and the statistics don't show that it adds any benefit.
Okay.
Anything else on Corbin, Deb, or is that
Nope.
good?
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, if we can
Thanks,
spread
guys.
word, we are gonna fill those holes and
Okay.
let people know we got some more work to do up there. We'd appreciate it.
I will do that. Thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Just some other updates, grading all over the place up there in between, Dylan and Dale both been pretty busy on the blades. We hit Wicks right after we were done chip sealing, McClellan, and then what is it, Forest Park Drive, and some other hot spots that needed some attention, but we're getting ready to hit pretty much everything again for our winter fall routes, but and then they are working on picking up the Durapatcher today from Boulder. It's in the shop right this minute, just getting some maintenance done on it, but they'll be hopefully done Durapatching by end of the week, middle of next week, depending on how many holes we find.
Might be out there for all winter.
Yeah. The Boulder guys again helped with the chip sealing, and then they've been out mowing this week, trying to get that wrapped up. Should be done down Lower Valley this week. Whitehall, we finished the Durapatching in Whitehall yesterday, then finished mowing, and we've been helping up here quite a bit. So, and he's been doing a really good job of the days he's been down there by himself, just doing some sign maintenance and some tree trimming and staying real busy by himself down there. So just want to reiterate that chip seal project was probably the smoothest one we've had so far. Went real well.
I saw you on the
safety
chip seal
issues.
machine, so.
Yeah, we found it was better for me to be up there kind of overseeing everything instead of falling around in a pickup, trying to help coordinate everything, and especially with our limited manpower, it worked a little bit better that way. Make adjustments on the fly. But yeah, really good all around help. The distributor and oil guys were great. We had some help from Buster with a couple of roller operators and some of his equipment. Had a contract traffic control. That went a lot smoother. So just overall, from a production standpoint, the only hiccup we had was having to wait for oil, and that's something you're never gonna get out of.
Right. Did you come up with an overall cost on that yet, or?
I'm waiting. I've learned from past experiences with the oil invoices that they always send them to me right after we're done, and then it seems like 2-3 weeks later, I get a revised one. So, we're sitting under what I originally estimated, but it's to be determined. We still got to figure in traffic control and some other stuff to that, so it's gonna be pretty close to what we originally estimated.
Good job on that. Appreciate it. That hopefully will quiet things down considerably.
I would hope so. It better. There's no other answer to them right now, so.
Well, I think they're all talking up there about the county can't do this. We can't, it's not able to do this every few years, so if they want that good of a road, they're gonna have to talk about other funding mechanisms, so.
Yep.
Got the conversation started anyway.
Yep. So I don't know how familiar Commissioner Haggerty and Doolittle are on the Sleepy Hollow Bridge situation.
Enough.
Enough, okay. So I guess Corey, if you wanna, you probably know more, or you talked to them more recently.
Yeah, so the state is considering that not really our road, but it's open for public use, so.
And it's not our bridge.
It's not our
Yeah.
bridge. I mean, they know it's not our bridge. They know we don't maintain it. They know everything, but there's gotta be somebody that watches that bridge, cause it is in the failing stages. And the state can inspect it once or twice a year, but during a flood event, they need somebody to go out there and actually see, when do we need to shut this thing down? I mean, they don't want a car tipping over into the culvert when it fails, so. For them to keep their federal funding mechanism, they have to have the scour plan on this bridge, and we're really the only ones that are able to do it. There's no homeowners association, nothing like that, to take that over and do this. So if we don't want to just shut the bridge down, that's our choice. We can either shut the bridge down or we can do this scour plan. And it's a very simple scour plan, but it's kind of action plan. If we start to get high water or whatever, we just gotta keep an eye on to make sure it's not cutting that bridge out to where if somebody drives over it, they're gonna fall in, so. So we really don't have a choice unless we wanna close it. We can either close it or we can do the scour plan. I invited Lena to this conversation because she is familiar with the subdivision and the requirements that when we okayed that subdivision, what we said would be, and ingress egress is always an issue in subdivisions, so. So that's kind of where we're at on there. In my opinion, I think it's easy enough for us to do the scour action plan. Kind of tells us how often we're going to inspect it, and that's only during a flooding event. So if we're having a flooding event, we may have to have a truck out there looking at it every so often, you know, daily or whatever, weekly. It's got different choices here. So I guess with your guys' permission, I would just ask Bear to go ahead and fill this out and get it back to him, so we're all good to go. We're just gonna have to watch that bridge when it starts to flood.
And I would agree, as long as it doesn't force us into a situation where they think we're gonna fix it. I think that needs to be clear. It's not our business.
Yes.
We're just trying to keep people safe with it.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly it. We're just in a safety state of mind for this bridge, so.
Along that line, I think it might be worth us putting something out to the residents of that subdivision saying, hey, we are taking responsibility of monitoring this during flood conditions. But any repairs or improvements to this bridge, you folks need to come up with an HOA or something to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Did they have an RMD of any kind
No,
in there? Nothing?
no. And they don't have an HOA anymore. They let that dissolve. I
Oh.
did talk to a couple people up there over the years about creating an RMD, but nobody's stepped forward to do anything with it.
This may be a tool to help kind of prod that along.
Problem with that bridge is very few people use it. I think the ones on the north side would probably use it a little. The ones on the far north obviously take that to get out of there, but the ones on the south, I don't know how many use it and how many don't use it, but. But I was gonna get ahold of Andrew, our deputy county attorney over here, cause he lives up there, and see if they have an email chain that,
Mhm.
you know, within the subdivision. If they've got that and he'll give it to me, then we can send out whatever. I think just.
Or maybe get a hold of Chuck, I think her name's Vanessa Tolson. They live right next to him and they've lived there for a lot of years.
Yeah, because typically subdivisions kind of communicate within themselves, typically, you know, that one's small enough, I don't know, maybe they don't, but. Besides the roads and the weeds and that stuff, they don't really have any reason to communicate, but. So that's my plan right now, just have Bear get this done, so the state's appeased, get a hold of these people up there, tell them what's going on. You know, see if there's any, maybe we can have a meeting, try to get everybody at the meeting and say, this is what we got going on, this is how we can remedy it. You know, as simple as an RSID, we can build a new bridge and have them pay for it over however many years and, you know, something like that, so. Or if they don't wanna do anything with it, as soon as it fails, shut it off, shut it down. It's gonna mess up with our subdivision, okay, but I don't know what else to do with it. You know, besides getting Steve to force him to do it somehow, I don't know. I wouldn't wanna try to force it on him, but.
And we have the authority to close it for safety reason.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would argue that point.
Well, you wouldn't think so,
You
but
wouldn't think so, if
Yeah.
they wanna take the liability and try to fix it or whatever it needs to be, they can do that, but. So, if you guys are okay with that, I'll have Bear fill out this really simple
yeah, I think that's
action
fine.
plan and.
Yep.
You know, I'll start working on getting contacts for the subdivision and see if I can communicate to them all, or if we can hold a public meeting up there and try to. At least get them all on the same page of what's going on with that bridge.
Anything you want to add to that, Ladana?
Mm, We could always just send them a notice in the mail too.
We could do that, too,
Yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't take much for me to come up with a list of those people.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna skip over one for a second, we'll come back to it, but. Speaking of speed reports with our speed trailer, between chip sealing and me being out last week. I didn't get a chance to get these done sooner, but. Still working on some formatting and reviewing the data to see how it's gonna best, work for us. But, I'm gonna start with Cedar Hills. We had that sign trailer down there right by the barn at Cargill's on Cedar Hills where it's 15 miles an hour. We did 1 week with it in stealth mode and then we turned on the sign to where it was reading speeds. It's rather interesting.
They go faster when it's on.
Apparently I printed the same one twice. Not really. There were some definitely higher speeds, but the average speed was about consistent, whether it was on or off. I think there was a couple where they wanted to see how fast they could go.
High score.
Yep. The interesting thing is there is about 550 cars a week that were traveling past that sign. Remember, that's one direction. But that is in a 1 week period. Of those 556 cars, 372 of those had speeding violations. And that's 1 mile an hour and above the 15 mile an hour speed limit. 250 of those were within 5 miles an hour of that speed limit. But you still had about 125 that were more than 5 miles an hour over. And again, that's only one direction. So people are definitely, the average is 70% of the vehicles passing that sign were speeding.
That's a 15 mile.
15 mile an hour zone where it travels right through the middle of their property there.
Okay.
So there is a definite speed issue through there. It's pretty consistent between about, what was it, 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning, obviously, and again between about 3 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So a lot of people commuting back and forth. But that one is, I wish I didn't print this twice because it would have shown it a lot better. But you can have this if you just want to look at it. I highlighted the highs. So the front is just showing your daily traffic count by hour. And it breaks down into some weekly or some averages. This back one shows some total vehicle counts and then there's minimum speeds, max speed, speed average, and then how many per speed range past the sign. And of course it changes it to January and June and November because it doesn't know the difference between a number and a date, but so feel free to look at those.
Is that coming off Highway 2 and then going up Cedar Hills Road or coming?
No,
down
this is
Cedar Hills
coming
Road?
down, dropping off the hill,
Up
because
the-
I
past it.
there's a lot more people that speed coming off of that hill.
Right, that's. what I
Past
thought.
them than there are coming from the highway.
Okay, thanks.
So I would imagine the speeding numbers are less coming the other direction, but
Right.
until I turned the sign around, we wouldn't know for sure. This one was a little interesting too. This is Greenwood Trail up in Blue Sky Heights. So that one with the sign off, we had about 803 cars in a week. The first day, 2 days of that, it was not collecting data because their weeks go Sunday or Monday through Sunday. We didn't put it up there till Wednesday. But with the sign on for a full week, there were just under 1,300 cars in a day, one direction. So there's a lot of traffic
What's that?
on that road. However, with the speed sign off, the average number of violations was 6%. And with it on, it was at 9%. And the maximum speed that was recorded on that sign with it off was 31 miles an hour, and with it on was 32.
What's the speed limit up there? 25?
25.
Okay, so it's not all that bad.
So from 26 to, with the sign off, from 26 to 30 miles an hour, there were 55 violations. So that's within that 5 mile an hour
Mhm.
kind of general cushion. Over that, there were only 4 violations in a week.
And that's that place where those guys live that say they're speeding down there all the time.
Yep.
Okay, that's good information.
And the numbers with the sign on, pretty consistent. 26 to 30, you had 139, and 31 to 35, you had 4.
Okay, good. That's great information.
And that is positioned as they're coming down onto the asphalt. So
So they're speeding, but slightly, just barely.
They're
over.
within, I mean,
5
you're
miles an hour.
definitely getting a couple. And those higher speed violations are happening right in the middle of the day between 10 and noon.
Okay,
Could be a UPS truck, FedEx truck, who knows, but could be a kid, could be somebody else. I tried getting off of my truck dash cam one day, the guy driving up there with his kid on the seat, driving the truck for him, but had to been about a 4-year-old.
nice.
Yeah.
We all been there, Bear.
Oh, yeah. I'm
That's
not
how
saying
I
we
feel.
haven't, that's how we learn. I thought it was funny. You couldn't see the guy, all you saw was a 9-year-old kid.
At least he had his dad with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't by himself.
Yeah, he was supervised. You know, so it is interesting to see that data, and I'm still learning how to best break that down into something that's more digestible, so we don't have these big, long, gaudy reports to look at, but
Is that something you can send me? I wanna send those guys up there on,
absolutely.
or just give me those and I'll scan them either
I,
way.
that, or I can email it to you, so you've got it in an email.
'Cause that's great. That's exactly the data we're looking for.
You know, I don't think there's a speeding issue with people coming up the hill as
Right.
much.
Coasting down the hill.
Yeah, coasting down. They could be speeding a little bit more as they come down around the corner. Cause you've been on the asphalt longer,
Mhm.
but they're still not hitting 50 miles an hour,
Right,
so.
okay.
And there's 4 violations in a week. So,
That's not too bad.
so I'm gonna go up there today and grab that sign out of there and take it up to, I think it was Jackson Creek, we had a bunch of requests on.
Jackson Creek.
So,
What's it, Lump Gulch is the other one that I need to sign eventually too.
I can put it there first.
Yeah, that Jeff Chappie or whatever, he mostly wants the statistics of the amount of travel, not so much the speed, but
Okay.
how many cars are going in and out of there. And I don't know, it's hunting
So
season
it's
now, I
not
don't
so
know.
much speed that we're not too worried about the exact location. I might put it down a lower than his place just cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna go faster, but.
Yeah, you should get the same count going up and down, it'd just be interesting to see what the count is. They're trying to figure out the maintenance, possibilities, you know, if we can get the data that this thing's just getting beat up with a whole bunch of traffic, that helps them apply for grants and.
Well, I think what I would like to do is put it down below Sheep Mountain for a couple weeks, and then we can move it up closer to Jeff's. Even just for a week, we don't need all the speed data, we can just do a week and get a count.
Yeah, that would be great, just to give them an idea. He'll probably give us a more specific time he wants it up there, but it seems like I think he was thinking summer when people are
Oh,
recreating
okay,
it.
so he's not in a huge hurry for it right now.
I think he was looking more of a summer count, but you know, when we're done with them, or if you have other places, go ahead and do that first.
Okay.
And we'll get up to him when we think the peak traffic times are.
Jackson Creek and McClellan Creek, I think, were the next 2 kind of hot spots.
That's good.
For speed. Coming down McClellan, obviously, and then, I gotta double check our notes on Jackson Creek where they wanted that one, but. I think it was up in that kind of windy narrows before you hit Till Brothers. But I didn't put it on here, but I did have an update on Ambush Ridge.
Oh, that was very intuitive of you. Thank you.
How'd you guess, huh?
We haven't forgot about you, I promise you.
I didn't think you had.
Finally got some numbers back from Great West on a survey. We're looking probably about $6,000 to get that surveyed up there. But I think it's money well spent, because we need to know what the plan of the drainage plan that we have that should alleviate the problems. We've got to be able to know where we can put it,
Where the right of way.
where the right of way is at.
Okay.
So, they said they are running behind on scheduling right now. That's kind of what we're waiting on. So I don't know when we're gonna be able to get the survey done. But that is our next step, is getting that survey so that we can know where to establish ditches and drainages and put in new culverts and get that water where it's supposed to go.
That would be awesome.
So we are working on it for you.
Okay,
Who do we-
so, yeah, I've been in Germany for 6 weeks.
Lucky
I
you.
understand you guys had a great summer.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Huh?
Sprechen Sie
No,
Deutsch?
no, you don't, but I have two
Uh.
granddaughters, but they've moved to Italy, so now that changes the whole perspective. But when I got home, I kind of looked at it that, and I don't have any more culvert markers because the vehicles have successfully taken them, all 4 of them out.
Hmm,
Okay, but the road above my upper driveway, which is considered culvert 3 in that engineering report, it's been narrowed by about 3.5 feet. And then below my other driveway, it's narrowed by 5 feet. People are going off into the ditch and really confused about where the road is and not able to pass each other with trailers, so it's
Hmm.
become a pretty good issue.
I'll go up there today when I'm in that area.
Yeah,
See what we can
you
do.
know, for me, I'm the only one, myself and my other neighbor, that are addressing this. Honestly,
You
from
guys-
my perspective, I'm the only one with access on hanging tree and ambush. And anybody above me, if that narrows off, it's not gonna be my issue.
right, yeah,
But
yeah, you get the brunt of all the problems at the bottom there, you know, all the drainage and.
yeah,
everything, so.
but I wanna work with you guys too, cause I know you got, like Bear said, 800 miles of road, so.
Yeah, but your problem needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
It's really high on our priority list.
At least we can get something done before we actually do the fix, you know, if we need to make your culverts wider or whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff can be fixed, so.
Yeah, we need a
And
Band-Aid. I
if
think.
you could put that speed sign up there that tracks all the traffic one of these days, that would be awesome.
Yeah, well,
Well, you know, sitting where I sit, I mean, we got so many cars coming up there and they go up Hanging Tree and I'm like, where do all these cars go?
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know.
eventually,
But, you know, there's a lot of traffic.
yeah, and eventually I plan on getting that sign trailers. We got 2 and eventually I want to get them out on every road just to get an idea of where we're at, but they're, you
Yeah.
know, it's a 2 to 3 week process on each road and so many roads, it's gonna take a while.
And then the recent issue with Google Maps has
Mhm.
changed. I know that's not your guys' issue, but now something has changed and they're in order to get up and around ambush. That Google Maps is sending them up the field in between Stafford's and Mitchell's house, which is across from me, up a field.
Oh, nice. Is there a
Great.
road there at all?
No.
Not yet, anyway.
There's gonna be,
Apparently.
apparently.
Yeah,
You can get somebody following Google Maps and go up there.
Yeah, so. Well, thank you for your time and thanks for the update.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
you can sure, I don't know if you know how to use Zoom, we turn this on during every road meeting to save you a trip down here, but.
Oh, I like seeing you guys.
Oh, good.
you must be really bored.
I'm stinking retired. Retired's not necessarily easy, right?
That's true.
what I hear.
Mhm.
I'd sure like to find out how hard it is.
It'd be fun to try, wouldn't it?
That's what I thought too.
I don't be a phone call person either.
No.
I'm good.
You're fine.
Okay.
Thanks for coming
everyone.
down.
Yeah.
Have a good day now.
Um,
I'm gonna tell you, Bear, before we get away from that one, the clerk and recorder's office, the survey review does quite a few surveys, so if you can't get Great West on it right away, talk to Ginger, cause she's got a list of surveyors that we use quite often.
Yeah, and when we used, the last one we used was Dan Dingle for, the not Saddle Mountain, but, Rattlesnake Deep Park.
oh, right.
And actually something in a subdivision too, in Sheep Mountain, we just used him too. But he was a lot cheaper than all the other
And I
surveyors.
think that happens with Great West where they double mark it
Mhm.
up kind of thing.
Exactly, and Dan could get to it really quick. If it's for the county, he gets to it fast.
I'll talk to Ginger.
Yeah, cause if that's something you wanna get done, there's no reason we
Mhm.
gotta, if Great West is way behind.
Well, I don't, they're not super far behind, but I haven't been impressed with some of their estimates on costs for surveys.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
I was gonna do South Hills intersection where we're having the issue
Yeah.
of Joe Carter's property. I'm of the opinion he needs to pay for that if he thinks we're wrong, because that was another $5,000 and I'm not
Right.
gonna do that.
Yeah, no, that's a good. Correct.
I did see the people out putting up the no parking signs by their mailboxes the other day again,
Right on the corner.
from across the road.
That's Joe.
No, not Joe.
Yeah.
It's not Joe putting up the no parking signs. He's the one that's parking the equipment and stuff there.
Oh, they're putting them
These-
in the mailboxes
Yeah,
now?
where the turnout is by the mailbox. They had them up one time. And then I think, I don't know if somebody took them or they took them down, but what,
Well,
they
I'm
put
sure
them
Joe
back up
took
the
him
other
down
day.
Cause he claims that's his property.
Yeah.
Anywho, speaking of Durapatch and patching and RMDs, I wasn't 100% sure where we left off on Martinez, if we were wanting to get in there and do some patching, if they had any money to get some of that done. I don't know that it's worthwhile to go in and do anything there near the intersections with the patcher. That needs a lot more work than what that machine's gonna do.
Did we ever figure out if we share maintenance on that?
I think we
Last
do.
time we looked, it was a shared.
Yeah.
Sure.
I heard yes.
Okay, well, if there's anything we can
They're
do up
supposed to
there.
cover material and we cover equipment, but that bottom portion is gonna need to be dug out and asphalt or something put in. It's not gonna do any good to put patch over the top of it. Last
Yeah.
time we were in there, we went through an entire tote of oil,
Mm,
which we just used 1.5 for most of all of Whitehall. So to give you an idea of how much we did.
Yeah, if there's any obvious holes up there, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind you going up there and hitting the bad ones, otherwise they get worse and worse.
Right.
The bottom's a mess, it's just the drainage and everything,
Yeah.
it tears that up.
So that Moonlight Ridge was the other one.
Moonlight Ridge now pays for everything themselves.
Do they?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm just gonna go. Scratch. Thanks.
Breaks your heart.
Yeah, we just did that one.
Okay.
We updated their resolution.
That's fantastic. It was just a question. My pen just died. So that answers that one. So the last one is our vacancy in Montana City, replacing shrub. I've been told that we gotta wait for budget stuff to go through to see if we were gonna be there or not. And I'm waiting for final approval, because if I don't get another guy soon, it's gonna be hard to get him trained on a snow plow in time. And if I don't have a fourth guy, you're gonna be getting a lot of phone calls about plowing issues.
Our budget's set, so I just have to check with Ginger, it should be in there.
Yeah, it was in there. She just said it was waiting for you guys, so,
We approved the final budget
Okay.
last week, so
Yeah.
if it's in there, it's in there,
okay.
unless you want us to take it out.
No, it's, well,
What I would talk to Ginger about
that's a
there is,
conversation for off the record.
what I would talk to Ginger about is your cash through November.
Yeah,
That
that's-
might be the issue.
We,
I think after November,
yeah,
it's in there, but until we hit that November, I think that's part of what her concern is, but
well,
you can ask her and
I
see.
think we'll be okay, because based off of previous hiring experiences, it's gonna
gonna
be
take
the
till
end of
November?
October
Yeah.
before we get somebody on board.
We're almost to October
Yeah.
already, so.
You know, it's, if I call Kelly today, it would be a paper till next week, and we run it for whatever it is, 3 weeks, and then you gotta set up interviews and all the processes, and then they gotta give 2 weeks if they're clearing somewhere, so we're looking mid to the end of October anyways, so. And the biggest reason why is, you know, if I get a guy calling in sick up there, we're really gonna be screwed.
Right.
We're kind of down to 2 call outs now with Rory and Leon, and Rory would prefer not to come plow snow unless we really need him. Dick's pretty much done. He kept telling me he wanted to come help us chip seal, but then he had something come up, and then I keep trying to get him to commit one way or the other, and it's a different conversation every time we talk. I'm gonna give him an ultimatum next time we chat about his continuing efforts, because I've got a couple other guys that would like to be call outs for us that would be more available. And then, you know, that'll bring us to Easton as well. So I talked to him yesterday, he's not doing much better, so I told him I need to know within the next week or two what his plan is, because he's gotta be able to come back and be available. He said, otherwise I'm gonna be down in Whitehall plowing snow every day.
Right. That's what you were doing last year too.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I haven't talked to Shaylee about it yet, but I guess Thursday a guy came in from Whitehall with equipment and the CDL experience that was interested in a position, so we may at least have one applicant, which would be a start, but I sure hate to kick a guy to the curb when he's in that situation as well, though. But we've been more than patient with him.
Yeah, and I think there's rules we have to follow through HR that we can't just get rid of somebody because of certain reasons, but.
Yep. No, that'll be a conversation with Kelly and a bunch of others before anything changes, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys have been doing a really good job of keeping us afloat, shorthanded this year. We're nowhere near where we wanted to be, but at least we still have roads on the ground.
Yeah,
So,
no, you guys have been doing a great job being shorthanded.
so I'll leave it to you guys.
Either you two have anything, otherwise I got one thing.
Most of my stuff he went over, I got a couple things, but. Flap, we talked about maybe getting, Great West on board to start the planning for, like you said, do several roads. So let me know if you need help with that, if you're swamped and want me to reach out to Great West and see if there's a way we can start looking at roads and getting a plan to start applying for the flap, because usually it's like, okay, flaps due
Yeah,
in 2 weeks, and if you don't have your ducks in a row, you missed the boat.
yeah, no, it'd be good. I'll get with Carl and, we'll get the ball rolling. Cause then if we need to get that sign out, get any kind of traffic data, we can make a plan on some certain roads that would be our priorities. And I mean, I'd like to apply for $10-20 million worth of grant flat money, so.
Just put them in line, that's what everybody else does, yeah.
That's what we might as well.
Cause it's gonna be
The,
way down the road.
the
5
the
years
worst
down the
part
road.
with us wanting to do that is the money to cover the expense of Great West writing the grants.
Right,
So that would be our biggest limit at this point, but roads like Clancy Creek, Lump Gulch, McClellan. I mean, those are 3 prime candidates just in that area alone, Warm Springs. Every road down here, Basin Creek, Cataract, Pioneer, every road we have,
Yeah.
access to public lands in one way or another.
I think we should prioritize the ones that we have the most people living on, like Lump Gulch and McClellan Creek and all those are probably our priority, like Basin Creek, there's a few people up there, but I never get complaints. And
I would like to put Basin Creek on because I think it might be a little cheaper one to get in there. It's one of those that maybe they only have $1 million to give, would be replacement of that bridge,
Okay,
a realignment and replacement of that bridge.
sure,
But, and I think that's something to look at is you should get like a couple $1 to $2 million ones, couple 3 to 5, and then maybe a 7
Yeah.
to 10.
no, that's a good idea.
So when they have X amount of dollars left to divvy out, it gives us some options for them to play with, but
At least we'll get something in there.
hopefully.
That Basin Creek Bridge, did you guys get that replanked, the one right out of town right there?
Still waiting on supplies.
Still waiting on that one,
They,
okay.
they told us it was a minimum 8 weeks from when we ordered that stuff. And it's been almost 8 weeks,
Okay, getting close.
but it is definitely on the to-do list.
Lumberjack Road up in Elk Park, that got a call, from, whatever his name is up there, saying we used to do it, now we're not doing it. I don't know if that's not our road.
It's not our road.
Okay.
So the story that I got, and again, these are old stories, was that at one point in time, decades ago, there was a county employee that lived up there. And so they had him take a truck home so he could plow his way back to Boulder.
Mhm,
And it never got taken off of a maintenance route.
Gotcha.
And when the snow was bad, we would go in there and plow it out. Cause they would turn around in there, but there's no point in us going in there if we turn around at the end of Sawmill. But there is no record anywhere I've ever seen of that ever being a county road.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I don't know, is there hard surface on that, or is it just dirt all the way up?
It's gravel.
It's gravel.
It's short. It's maybe 150, 200 yards into a little cul-de-sac thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazon Road, I get complaints up there that I never get complaints. I guess the road's getting flat, the water's running right down the middle of the road. I don't know how
Needs to
we
be
can get
graded.
that crowned off a little bit. What's that?
It just needs to be regraded.
Okay.
It's on the list.
And do we need to get some fill or something in that low spot where, I'm trying to think, is that the creek goes down through there?
We put material in that every other year for 5 years. 3 times we've put material in that and it still just potholes out. But it's drawing so much frost and moisture from that creek.
Is that what
That's
it
what
is?
we believe is happening because it's always damp in there.
Mhm.
And so when you get that moisture in there, it blows apart.
that's something we should have maybe an engineer look at to see how we can alleviate that. Every time I drive up there, it's a mess.
One option possibly would be to kind of scrape out a lot of what's in there, put in a heavier, rockier material and build it up a couple feet and then put, another foot of gravel on top of that and just get a bigger barrier between the pipe. The problem then is we'll have an even more severe drop off of each end of the pipe. And so we'll look at it. We usually try to get up there. If somebody calls and says, hey, the bottom's getting rough, we try to get up there because it's so close.
I don't think I've ever driven that road and that not be bad up there.
Yeah, just when we blade it.
What's that?
Only the day we blade it.
Yeah. Let's see, you got that one. Yeah, you got that one. That's about all I've got on my list.
Commissioner Little.
I got nothing.
Question arose during our Parks Trails Recreation Commission meeting. The question was from Pipestone all the way through Delmo Lake. That is not a county road, is it?
Correct. That's what's Forest Service.
It's all Forest Service.
And it's the entirety from the interchange there, or by the interchange.
241,
Yeah.
Pipestone.
Right there by the interstate.
Yep.
Yeah, all the way across to Homestake is all Forest Service.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have maintained from there by the quarry up to
Right.
Four Corners under a Schedule A agreement in the past, and we
Right.
generally do that in the fall.
Answered my question. Thank
You
you.
know,
That's all I have.
well, that was an easy one. I keep seeing the reward over there. I thought it was.
What it is,
Well,
CBU, Citizens for Balanced Use, Kerry White.
Yeah.
They're working with the Forest Service to try and eliminate some of the problems or slow things down. So if they're off-road or any of that kind of stuff, they're opening a reward where they would pay for it. But they haven't voiced their concerns through the Forest Service, and they'll contact CBU in terms of the payment if this person's.
And I'm in support of what they're doing here, because it
Yeah.
shows anyone running open designated trails. So there's a lot of issues in that
Yeah,
area with
exactly.
people thinking they can just ride wherever they're at. And make their own paths, and I'm a big proponent of what they're doing there.
I'll let them know.
But yeah, we wouldn't have a dog in the fight in it.
No, I just assumed you did, but yeah, yep, that works good. Thank you.
Okay,
Do you have a list of the non-maintained county roads that you get to eventually when you have time or?
all of them.
All the roads in the county?
Yeah.
Cause and I talked to Dylan about this at the safety meeting, the Wood Chute Road up there.
Yeah.
That one.
And that one's definitely bad. I went up there, well, I think the morning after George first called me and looked at it. It needs to be fixed, and I'm hoping we can get to it before we get too far in hunting season. But I really hate going up there when we have so many other roads that need to be graded.
Yeah. No, I had one guy just asking about it, and last time I talked to him, he said somebody went up there with a skid steer and filled in the big holes up there, so.
It was probably George.
So,
And that's another issue. We've gone in there before with the dozer and a blade and cleaned that road up, and then he'll come back in with his own machines, and he doesn't like the way we do it.
No.
And so he'll redo it, and then it causes washouts. But Wood Chute's one that we do try to keep an eye, and really all of them in this area, I'm on them enough that I keep a pretty good eye on anything that's not travelable.
mhm.
But I could work on a actual like non-maintained list, but none of them are regularly inspected. It's more just somebody calls us and says there's an issue. And it's gotta be a pretty bad issue for us to get up there in any timely manner.
Okay, the other one is up in Basin, the Big Limber Boulder Chief. I don't know if you've been up there lately, but I was gonna go drive that one.
I haven't, but we did get a call the other day. Shaylee took a call from a gentleman that was wanting to get a permit to be able to work on the road himself. And we had said, just fill it out, don't pay the fee, kind of similar to what we're doing on Sheep Camp.
Right,
You know, we wouldn't hold any standards just because all he's doing is keeping it open.
yeah,
But that's one that we've gone in a couple times since I've been here with the blade and just kind of dressed it up because it was getting washed out. But that road, it goes all the way through to Boulder Chief, but we won't take a machine all the way through.
right.
'Cause it
No,
gets
just to
pretty
the
bad.
residences up there. There's probably, what, 5 people that live up there now.
Yeah. you know, it's one that when if they'd let us know, hey, it's getting pretty washed out earlier in the year, then we could probably make a plan for it. This time of year, there's probably not much we're gonna get to.
Okay,
We've been planning on doing cataract for 2 years and haven't made it up there yet,
yeah.
and it really needs it. So. Cataract's probably the one non-maintained road that gets the most amount of attention, just because there are so many cabins up there now. Right. And so much use, so.
Yeah, this Boulder Chief one, there's, like I say, actual year-round residents up there, they're not just cabins, so that
Yeah,
if you're up that way, take a look at it, and I don't know if there's anything we can do quick up there just to smooth it out for them a little bit, but, or if the customer wants to, or the resident wants to try to hit it, just let them know, go for it. Until your neighbors start complaining about what you're doing, I guess.
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the scour plan, just to remind you to take a look at that. It looked pretty simple. And they got a sample one there.
Right, yep, I looked over it a little bit yesterday.
Get that back to them and I'll work on my end to maybe get a hold of somebody up there. Start with Andrew maybe and Craig knows somebody else up there. I'll try to get some kind of contact list going and either get a meeting or figure out some way to communicate with them on that bridge.
Yeah. But one thing with these speed reports is that with my weekly email report that I've sent so religiously to you guys. I do plan on including the weekly speed report with that, and then I'm also gonna include the sheriff's office with that. So they can just kind of see if they've got guys in the area at certain times of day, maybe they can go hit it, so.
No, that's great information. They're working very good.
I don't know if you've seen what Jack Cross is working on for speed study stuff. He was approached by somebody, but it's based off of, your connected devices and connected vehicles. And so you basically have a map and everybody that's got a connected device, it records your travel data. And so it'll give you a general speed information for any road within the county. And he's playing with the demo with that right now, but pretty interesting to see.
As long as you got cellular service, I suppose, huh?
As long as it's connected, I mean, your phones, always have GPS connection. And so it's anything that's connected, phones, tablets, cars. The majority of everybody out there's got something that's connected.
I think most of the cars are connected, getting the data is
Yep.
what used to be the issue. I don't know what they do with it now, but
Yeah, I think as long as they're using speed data and traffic numbers, like it's not any kind of privileged privacy information. So I don't know all the inner workings, but he kind of explained it to me the one day. I was pretty interested.
Okay, we will be adjourned.
Thanks, Bear. Appreciate it.
you.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, trust me, me too.